typing stuff.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Hi, welcome to the JALTCALL Podcast. I'm your host for the day with Brian Gallagher, and I'm with Luke John in Sojo. Hey, Luke.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
And Jeff Carr up in Asahikawa City University. How are you doing?
Coming to you from the snow, Brian. Doing all right.
How much snow have you got? How much?
I think, the last week we've probably gotten over 50 centimeters where I am, which, it's not that much for this time of year. I got a friend down around Obihiro. They got about 50 centimeters yesterday.
Way to go.
So, yeah.
It's a white Christmas in Hokkaido.
It's a white Christmas in Hokkaido, but it's supposed to rain and be 10 or 11 degrees this Saturday, I want to say.
It's a slushy Christmas in Hokkaido.
It's a slushy, frozen Christmas with all kinds of weird bumps on the road and people tripping over stuff. Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Christmas time.
I mean, it's cool. It's nice. And we got the tree up and all this kind of good stuff. So, it's great.
We've got it here, but I was wearing shorts and t-shirt today. It's not cold at all in IG. Yeah, good stuff, Right, okay, so today we're going to try and wrap up 2025, Christmas 2025, this coming week up, is it? Of course, it's a wrap. So we are going to try and talk about all the good things that we've done so far this year, conferences, technologies, presentations, and all the kind of changes.
And some of the bad things.
Some of the bad things. Oh, let's just talk about the good.
Some of the naughty things. Yes, it is Christmas. Let's get in the spirit here, man.
Yeah.
Talk about all the naughty things you've done this year.
Not done anything naughty, so it's not that exciting. It's not that exciting. Well, anyway, since December, since around about this time last year, we have produced a phenomenal 25 episodes of our podcast.
Good job. It's been a good year. It's been a very good year.
And
I injured my shoulder. Patting myself on the back. So you guys are going to have to forgive me for that.
Good thing is, like, with that, so we've had a mixture of our studio talks and interviews. And one of the really kind of good things that I got out of this was actually the PanSIG podcast started with Darren Kinsman. So I'm in the PanSIG as well, which is performance and education. And so Darren was really motivated to start doing that as an outlet, which is really good. And he's done some really good. Darren's got a great voice for radio. He's great. He's an American. He's got like an American radio host kind of like voice. It's great to listen to. So it's good to kind of motivate other people as well. And we all got interviewed recently, right?
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys at
project guys at Tokyo University of Science there, right?
So Matthew and what was the other chap's name?
Oof.
We really should know that, shouldn't we?
Well, I mean, like when you're interviewed for a project,
we're going to have to re-record this section. I think.
How much can we talk about it, and how much can we not? How much is secret and sacred? But yeah, those guys ran their podcast for a long time. And of course, there's been a big resurgence of podcasting internationally as well as domestically. But they realized that platform is a great way to reach out to many people, as we did as well, to build and grow knowledge, all that kind of thing. And of course, one of the good things about our podcast is that you can add it to the media section of your research map, which I have done for probably about half the podcasts. I'm going to try and put up the rest of them. Have you guys put it into your research map, into your media section?
I haven't gotten there that over the holidays.
Yeah.
If your job is safe and you're not interested in filling up your research map, then maybe you don't have to. But mere mortals like myself, like we're always thinking, we could be made redundant at any moment from one job. So you better have the CV in spiffing order.
I still want to put it up there. I definitely want to get it up there, but there's just way too much going on, man. It's before Christmas right now.
Exactly.
So our episodes. So we had interviews with Rob Herschel, right, down in Sojo.
Yep. That's right. Louise Ohashi.
That was in Hokkaido with you, right?
Mm-hmm. A lot of fun. And then Chris Fry from Spain, also with me. Chris presented via the EuroCALL SIG at our online symposium and collab with AI SIG last spring. And then after that, he was a great interview. He's been teaching for nigh into 60 years now. So
Very
he had an awful lot
young
to
at
share.
heart, but old on the passport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Who
then
else?
let's see.
We had
Was
a
it?
good pre-conference interview with Matthias Schulz,
Mm-hmm.
and that was also featured on our YouTube channel.
Is it our vodcast? Right.
Yes, exactly.
One of my favorites was, of course, one I did with Gordon Wilson. So Gordon was talking about his with his AI buddy. So I really enjoyed that. I'm really hoping I'm going to meet Gordon again soon, because I think I could. We had such a great time. I thought we were just going to keep on talking and talking and talking and talking. So he's got loads of great ideas. Really good, fun guy. He did a workshop at
He was so
at the
much fun to
college
listen to. Yeah.
Friday night. Gordon's great. You guys have any favorite ones?
One of my favorite was definitely the one with David Kluge. Very, very interesting character, and I was glad to learn more about our own SIG, the JALTCALL SIG. So that was a great interview.
I'm
probably my favorite, Brian, was the Paul Rain interview that we did together. The amount of development that he's done and the way he's adjusted his goals over the years because of how the tech has changed or how the needs of students have changed. The value of curiosity and just not settling. And he's just kept going and going and going. And it was enlightening and fascinating and inspiring, all wrapped up together. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so actually, Paul's agreed to come on again in probably early 2026. So, of course, he's one of his big companies that he's running now is Ego AI, but he's got another one that's called Lingo Lesson, which we didn't actually get into because at that time Ego AI was the big runner. But I think Lingo Lesson's taking off. And so he's agreed to come back on and talk to us about that, which will be great because he's like a human encyclopedia. Is our Paul? So. I'm looking forward to it. Another one I was thinking about was Robert Remerswal interviewed Eric Hagley, and at the time I didn't realize Eric Hagley was such a unique guy. With the IVE project, I've learned so much more about people using the IVE project, and all these kind of virtual exchange things. I was that was a bit of an eye opener or ear opener, a mind opener.
Absolutely. Eric's IVE project and all the people that are involved with it. It was when I first got involved with it, and I've only been involved a couple of times, that got me thinking about how I could use virtual exchange with my own students some. I haven't been able to find a class to use so far, but I've been using online interns a lot, being inspired by all the stuff that was made possible by the IVE project and how my students responded to that. So I really loved getting the ideas from. Okay, we're gonna need to re-record that because I just stopped thinking halfway through that.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's December. Everybody's brain is scrambled. I mean, to be honest, it would be great if we had some more people came on talking about these virtual exchange programs. So, of course, all the listeners, we invite you to write into us and to come on and spend an afternoon or an evening with us recording. So,
we're gonna have a very brief discussion this Friday, I believe, with Adam Jenkins, who is the technical brain behind the IVE project and managing the server for them.
Exactly.
So,
yep.
And
I'm not sure that we've been able to set the time for that yet. I haven't talked with Adam about it yet.
And of course, you guys are doing an interview with Adam on the Moodle.
The Moodle Moot.
Yeah, the Moodle Moot. When is the Moodle Moot?
It's in February.
February's looking like a busy month already for 2026.
I'll give you the exact date. February 27 to March 1st, 2026.
Oh, right. Okay, so there's good couple of days there. Yeah.
Yes, and today we recorded a very brief podcast for the Sutlift conference that will be held in Kumamoto this year, and you will hear about that very soon.
Right. So conferences that are coming up. So let's wind back just a little bit. So conferences that we did already in the year. So Jeff, you were saying Chris Fry, you did the Spring Symposium.
We did the online Spring Symposium. That was a collab between JALTCALL and AISIG. That's right.
Right. Okay. The EuroCALL AISIG, right?
Yes.
And then that was soon after that was PanSIG, which was in Chiba. So we had a forum there, and we had nobody knew at the time, but we had there was a newspaper reporter came in and was asking some tricky questions, which I think a lot of the people in the room, had the same kind of like question to ask. So it was good to hear somebody like kind of like, sticking to their guns and point out. He was talking about how people who create original things should be protected from AIs that, just scrape it all into their data banks, and then give it away, So that was quite an interesting one there. And then after that, was it after May? Would have been maybe in June. Would have been our own conference, right?
In June. Sorry, it was July. Conference was in July, Brian.
It wasn't.
You're getting old there, man.
For now, forgetting it was the heat. It was the heat. Yeah, because we're normally in June. We're back in June this year, but we kind of slipped over into July. But quickly. So in 2025, we had at our conference, we had 15 workshops. We had 129 presentations. We had 26 posters. We had 2 featured panels, 2 forums, and 268 participants, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh my!
So I mean, we had loads. We had loads
He's
and loads
singing,
and loads,
folks.
Yeah, so 129 presentations, 26 posters. I'm really hoping we're going to have more posters as we go forward, because I think like in the poster area, there's so much activity and there's so much talk and there's so much opportunity for like people to mingle. I'd love to see more of that. Do you guys ever do any posters at presentations?
I did a poster in Nagoya.
You did in Nagoya?
Yeah, with Adam Jenkins, and we had a working interactive poster that you could interact with your smartphone because we had a server behind our poster.
You had a server behind your poster.
Yes, we did.
That is the most overpowered poster presentation.
It was a great poster. We had a small Raspberry Pi powered by a battery, and it worked. And we broadcasted our own AI system that you could access with your smartphone.
Oh my goodness! That's it. Let's see. I think the last time I did a poster was just a couple of years ago at PanSIG when it was in Kyoto. And I did a poster on my online intern program. Not there, but I haven't done anything with a server behind it. You say
Kyoto Sangyo?
Yeah. Kyoto Sangyo University. That's right.
So actually,
that was a lot of fun.
The first time I learned of the famous Jeff Carr was actually when I looked in a picture that was taken of myself in a poster presentation room. And then over my shoulder was Jeff Carr doing a presentation, and he only had bloody more people than me. Whoa, bandit! I was raging. I was thinking
we were indeed in the same room there, Brian. We didn't know each other yet, but we were in the same room.
So that was a cool poster thing because we were given a TV screen as well as I actually presented like straight onto the screen, which is great because you could quickly shoot through lots of different stuff.
Exactly what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of unique, and it's good to have those ones where it's I guess there's it's different from the norm. It gives you a bit more kind of, especially for when you're doing like a kind of call related type of thing. It's cool to have. We're going to be sharing some pictures soon enough of the poster area on our conference website for 2026. We just got some fresh pictures in because they had poster presentation event down there. I just got some pictures from Roger Palmer, who of course is one of the site chairs down with Brent.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so we're going to be trying to add more in that. So, of course, the call for submissions for our own conference is running until the 31st of January.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be an extension this year. I think a lot of people, every year, many people, about 60% of people wait until the deadline and then say, oh, yeah, bye. And then there's an extension. So what we're going to do this year is we're going to send a reminder 2 weeks before, which is, in effect, the same thing as an extension for the next 2 weeks. But yeah, January 31st, we have to wrap up because we're in June. We have to be motoring a wee bit kind of faster than they were. So hopefully people get their stuff done.
Makes sense. And I do
break.
Indeed hope that people get their stuff done in time.
So I'm going to try and do a poster myself. I've been doing a wee bit of kind of research with Claude.
Nice.
And so I guess... Luke had spoken to me about him using Claude before, and I kind of thought, I wonder how I could do. And so I've been trying to make my own text analyzers to use for writing classes, so that students can copy and paste it in, and it gives like a Cepher score, and it gives a kind of breakdown, and I've added a bit more to it. So I've done my like Gallagher text and analyzer 1.0, and then I've done my 2.0, and I'm on my 3.0, and I was thinking like. It's kind of like easy and interesting, and I think it's something that I'm going to try and share with a poster presentation, because I'm sure there'll be lots of people wanting to talk about it, because a lot of people teach writing classes, and it's a good way to save hours and hours and hours of marking and writing the same comments over and over again.
That sounds really good. Interested, you chose Claude specifically because it had been recommended to you? Because I've heard of people using Claude for lots of different reasons. I haven't heard of that particular one yet. I'm wondering kind of what brought that out.
Well, so Claude writes all the code, and so I was wanting to get it so that it was a unique thing so that I could move it to like some other place. Just now I've got it on my own website, just as a link. I'll share the link in the show notes. Shameless plug. I was, like when you first start playing with a tool, you're playing with it, and you're kind of a bit excited, and that's like a kind of cool thing. So actually, I'd recommend anybody to get in a Claude. I'll put a link into the show notes, like for Claude. I think it's easy enough. It's just Claude AI. But yeah, you can do lots with it. But I'll talk about it more. In the poster. One other thing I want to kind of mention is, so of course, JALTCALL Trends, we had our inaugural edition, which came out around about the same time as our conference. And so there was like 30 odd articles in there, although they're short articles, but there was a ton of them. And hopefully April or May 2026, we'll have the second bundle of papers coming in, articles, but that's also going to be a bit more regular. It's not going to be a once a year. It's not a post-conference publication, but post-conference papers can get in. But yeah, so of course that's a cool thing. We've started a new channel for people to get out. Big shout out to Michael Hoffmeyer for doing a lot of graft on that, and thank you members for paying your fees and coming to the conferences, because all your monies are spent on these kinds of things, so we don't really see a penny of it. We pay for all these other things that are part of JALTCALL. I want a special shout out to Paul Mason, who does the copy editing for it. So if you see Paul, buy my coffee, say thank you.
It's great.
Yeah,
he deserves a coffee.
Yeah. So look, the website too. So what were the changes we did to the website this year?
We will very soon, since we have 25 episodes, put all that stuff on a 2025 page and start the year fresh. So that's one thing. We had a lot more pictures from the conference. And if you're curious, you can always go on the front page and find all the pictures that we took during the conference this summer. So these are all available for you. If you want to use it for your own purposes, please do.
All right. Okay. So yeah, of course, like the JALTCALL.org website has been updated. So we've got our publication page.
Exactly.
And we've got our cool specific podcast page. And yeah, it's kind of like a clean theme, so hopefully we'll be trying to keep it tidy, because actually members, our membership chair Kevin, he gave us some data, basically said that a lot of members just go to the JALT.org website when they want to know information about us. So there's not so many people using social media, like Facebook. Is because you call it, like the old face, the bearded face, like the fading face, like there's not so many people doing. Even for me, like Facebook's just it's full of garbage half the time. Like it's just endless videos that are like an endless distraction. So
well, I mean that's kind of what the internet is supposed to be, right? The advertising.
Exactly.
It used to be your friends. Your friends were posting stuff, and it was kind of thinking like, "Hey, there's this great online community." But now it's just like,
listen to this guy over here bragging about having friends. Damn, I just don't know, man.
I've got at least 4 or 5. real
minimum, yeah.
Or on online friends. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, right. Okay, so I guess the podcasts, hopefully we're going to have a whole wheen of new ones coming out in 2026. We're going to try to have our keynote speakers. We're going to try and interview them so that they can have their voices heard before we get to the conference. Can we announce, Jeff? Can we announce who the keynote speakers are? Still top secret?
Well, I don't know that it's top secret, but this might be something we'd want to let James and Jeanette announce rather than us putting it out there first, man. Yeah, I mean, it is podcast exclusive, but let's bring James and Jeanette on here, or let's get an announcement in their voices, man.
Right. Okay. So they're going to come in January, hopefully. And then we'll get that out. So hopefully sooner rather than later. So of course that's James York, who's a long-standing member, and Jeanette Dennison, who are both together are our conference chair team, the double duo.
I promise I will post all that relevant information on the website, of course. So as soon as we have the information, it's going to be on the podcast and on the website too.
And for those of you that had not realized this before, yes, Brian is exactly that person who went through his Christmas presents, opened them all very carefully to look at them before Christmas, and rewrapped them so his parents would never know. Yes, this is Brian in a nutshell, right here.
I'll tell you, my brother Aidan infamously was the kind of person who would open the back of the advent calendar, slip out the tray, eat the chocolates, put the tray back in, and then tape it back up, hoping that nobody would notice. Yeah. Shenanigans.
It's the hopefulness there that really makes the story, isn't it?
Probably he would have been standing behind us, like waiting to scoff at the disappointment when you find out you open the door and it's like, no. Christmas has gone. Christmas gone.
This is a season of such anticipation. Yes.
Anticipation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a season of such anticipation. Yeah, a little bit of eggnog going there. That's the thing. I love this time of year because so much media begins to remind me just a little bit more of what media used to be like. You have articles out there that are summing up the year, talking about the best of this or that or the other, looking back on the year that we've had and using that to try to look forward to the year that we might have in the future. This warms the cockles of my heart, if you'll let me go Grinchy there for a minute. It really does. I love this, and I kind of want to ask you guys, for you, um, what stands out as best of the year stuff for you? Like, well, let's start with work, a call book or resource or something that made a difference for you guys this year. You got anything?
There's a book by Justin Reich called Iterate, and
Iterate.
it gave me iterations. It gave me a
Mm-hmm.
lot of good ideas on how to do project-based learning and not be afraid of having the students make mistake and work on these mistake. It also applies for English teaching, so it was a great inspiration, definitely.
Iterate, project-based learning.
Yep.
Could you drop
It's called Iterate, the Secret
Yeah.
Innovation in School, Justin Reich.
Okay. What's one little bit of advice from that sticks in your mind?
It was about giving yourself time and building a project over many years, potentially. So you have to think in the short term, and you have to think also in the very long term. So, which is not always easy in a school. And if you have the chance to have an admin that allows you to do that, you're blessed. So I've been very lucky myself, but I hope that for your 2026, your admin are going to be as open-minded as mine.
That is cool. All right, that's really good. Nice.
How about you, Jeff or Brian? Any good call book?
I mean, for me, I'm thinking like kind of like books these days. Like, is it like an actual book, like an audio book, or is it notebook? Like for me, like the big book is notebook LM. Like it's the thing that has saved me so much time. Like, and I even made a presentation at work at FD on notebook LM. Like, so like this is how you can take a bundle of stuff and then condense it down. I even put it into some of my courses as well. So like for students, instead of them asking me the same question over and over again, like saying like, well, like here it is, it's great that you can put something in and then it what's the word? Like it deconstructs, like things so you can put it in. Like a thing that I do with my writing students is like have them brainstorm, outline, draft, but then sometimes I'll say to them, okay, so take somebody else's draft and then take it apart and write an outline, and so, like you can quickly introduce Notebook LM and say like, well, this does it, and it does it for tons and tons and tons of stuff, like PDFs, and say to students, when a teacher gives you like bundles of gear, and you're thinking, I don't have time to write it or to read it, sorry, put it in, and get the tool, to break it down for you, right? To break it down. So for me, probably, Notebook LM.
I've used Notebook LM a lot myself, especially when you have for myself, but also for students that are writing a thesis for the first time. We've got some graduating students that are writing theses, and they need to dig into a lot of material and compare a lot of material. And in many cases, some of the students just don't have the experience or the skill to do that on the scale that is necessary for whatever it is that they're writing. And you can ask them to either scale back what it is that they're doing, or you can say, look, use this and help it, let it guide you in how to do this process and learn how to do some of what it's doing for yourself. And it's been very helpful for the students I'm ushering through their graduation theses this year. And
Gen AI.
Yeah.
So of course,
well, not Gen AI, the Notebook LM.
Notebook LM. So for Gen AI, so last week or some earlier time in December, there was a book launch. So our very own Robert Dykes with Louise Ahashi and Mary Hills. They had the book Generative AI in Foreign Language Education, which is a series. So that book launch was like December 11th.
Yes, I think it was.
I was thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to be in this book. I'm going to be in this book, and then realized that I'm going to be in book number 2. And
yes,
we thought they were going to come out in November. But I guess that's the thing with publishing. It takes traditional style publishing. There are delays and things get kind of pushed or whatever. So that first one has come out. So some good accolade. I think if people are interested, we'll put the link in. So that's for Candlin and Minard.com, GenAI 1. So I'm looking forward to being a book chapter for that next one to come out. So hopefully it will come out about the same time as the conference next year. I think if it comes out after April, January, February, March, if it comes out in April, hopefully a wee bit of Ken Kuhi would finance a couple of sales. Maybe I'll be able to buy one myself. I think usually if I've got something that gets printed, I get one copy for myself. Not, usually when you get an article, they give you a bundle of 50. They don't do that anymore, do they? Give you 50?
I'm afraid not.
I haven't heard of that happening. No, not recently.
Yeah. So I've got probably 48 copies of different articles. still kicking about, He sort of.
That was extremely specific there, Brian.
Yes,
they give you a bundle of 50. I've got 48. Yeah.
I do have an AI recommendation that is a little bit left field. If we stay in the world of Google, of course, Notebook LM is an amazing tool, but I've been using Gemini command line interface, which is an agentic AI. And for all the researchers out there, this allows you to prompt the AI to create code. But you'll say, I'm not a programmer, I'm an English teacher, or I'm a linguistic researcher. But for example, if you were to use Natural Language Toolkit, which is a Python library, you could prompt the AI to use that library on your corpus and teach you how to use these new tools. You could use a vast number of Python library, R, different statistical language, and it will help your research. But instead of saying produce this, you can say please write a code for that. And in the case of us being researcher, if the AI produces a code, we can verify that code for if the numbers are good. So we can look at the code and say, all right, that statistical analysis is valid for research. So I strongly recommend everybody to install it. It's free. And often you'll get access to the newest model within the Google command line interface. So I strongly recommend for everybody to use it.
So it uses reason and act, a reason and act loop to execute complex tasks.
It's a thinking model also. It will take a lot more time than your average chatbot, but I promise you that the result is pretty amazing. You have to be a little bit careful. You have to create a folder and tell it to play within that folder. It can modify code within your computer, and you'll be prompted and asked if you want to modify the code within your computer. So you have to be careful. You can brick your computer if you're not careful.
So usually anything you install, it says you have to say okay to access, edit, read, write, whatever.
Yes.
So is that
in this case it could potentially I use it for cleaning up my computer. I'll say can you clean up all the old files I don't use, and it will just write a code for me that I can use in the command line to erase whatever I don't want to use in my computer.
Oh.
It's extremely powerful.
Right. How far are we away from Skynet is the question.
It's not an easy question in that case, but it's very, very, very powerful.
Yeah, we're probably already at Skynet. It's just that we don't know.
We don't know
the developers in it. Yeah, there must got to be some military guys that are already doing all sorts of naughty stuff. Yeah.
If any one of you is interested in a more user-friendly Google product, which is very, very new, just came out a couple of weeks ago, it's called Anti-Gravity, which is basically the command line interface with a user-friendly interface that you can use very, very easily on the website. So you can access it with your normal Google account. It's free. Also gives you access to different models, including Claude and some OpenAI open source models. So that's a very interesting way
really
to
cool
test.
And very interesting.
It's a very cool way to test different models if you're interested in it, that kind of stuff.
Anti-gravity.
Yeah,
Luke,
it's a very, very fun
tool. That's been most useful for me this year has been that it's a little bit lame, but ChatGPT's project space, where you can create your own project and save all the interactions you have that are dedicated to that project within the discrete space, and upload your own knowledge base of materials as well to that. So, obviously the chatbot works within that space if you limit it to it, which is really extremely useful when you want to stop it from hallucinating or going too far beyond the bounds of what it is that you're trying to do, right? Exactly. How would that work with something like anti-gravity? Are there limits you can set?
Anti-gravity will be able to access files on your computer. So if you put all the files in the folder, the same folder where anti-gravity is, you'll be able to say, like, look, within these folders, this is the information I want you to work with, and limit yourself to that. Don't go further. The same thing with the command line interface. You'll be able to say, like, I have these 3 files full of data. That's what I want you to work with. So yeah, it's a type of RAG, right? You can basically give the AI what you want it to work with.
Now we're getting to the point where each individual who's using one of these chatbots through all these different ways of interfacing with them has a whole lot more power than perhaps we were used to even just a year ago. Right now, power to destroy your own computer, but also do all kinds of other stuff.
It will create music for you. If you ask it to create like a Ruby code for Sonic Pi, it will create songs. But if you ask it to create we're talking about ChatGPT and Claude. Of course, there are some other services that are specialized for music, but it will create code that creates music. It will create a code to strip away the content of YouTube, for example. If you were interested in doing that, Luke, for research,
okay, I'm going to go down a little bit of a different path right here and say that your last minute or so of talking about what the Google command line interface will do, you've used language like it will create music for you, it will strip away things, and that sort of thing. Have you asked this thing out on a date yet?
No, but I know somebody who did.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, a friend of the podcast.
All right, okay, time out. I think we're gonna have to wrap it. We're gonna have to wrap it there because we're kind of running. We're kind of running out of time. So, of course, this is us recording now in the 3rd week of December 2025. So we've got another couple of pods that are coming up. Probably we're going to try and squeeze them in before the end of the year. We've got an interview with George McLean down at the University of the Ryukyus, who's been a long-time member and supporter of JALTCALL and JAL and lots of other organizations as well. Luke, you said that you're having the Moodle Moots with Adam and Bill White.
Yes, right? Yes, and Jeff, of course,
and Jeff too. Right? Okay. And so I guess there's lots of other bits that are going to try and if they don't make it into 2025, there'll be lots of stuff coming out. Early doors in January of 2026. Right, everybody, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday, Jeff. You too. Send us some snow, will you?
Oh, I would be happy to. I will send you truckloads of snow if that is what you want.
Tack it down so my kids can have a snowball fight. Is that? Right, and a big thank you to all the listeners out there, and I want to have an extra special thank you to all the people that voted in the AGM. So I want to, if I didn't say it before, I want to say thank you to everybody who voted for me to become the president of JALTCALL. So I am going to continue working as hard as I can. Please feel free to throw some jabs and hooks at me if you're not happy with how things are going, or if you've got ideas that you think aren't getting a voice. So let's get the voices out there. Let's get things done. Let's have a smashing holiday, and we'll see you all in 2026.
Yep. And if you have ideas for the podcast, we're always welcome.
Yeah. Come on,
talk to us.
We've got our fishing lines out there, and we're trying to reel people in.
Come on, talk to us, send us messages. Love to hear from you guys.
Everybody, have a great Christmas. We'll see you 2026. Ciao, ciao. See you next time.
Christmas, Happy New Year, people.